What happened to hookah? I don't remember this being in the game. Today I want to do something a little different. Today I have another little story to tell you. I used to try to do a video like this once a week, but I haven't done one in a while, so I figured I might do one today. Now I don't want to say I had a near-death experience the other day, but in my head I almost made it out to be that way, if that makes sense. You see, I tend to be a more anxious person, particularly when it comes to things like driving or planes. Now I wouldn't say I'm scared of driving, but it definitely, heightens my anxiety a little bit. Whenever I tell someone that, they're always so surprised. Oh, why would you feel anxious about driving? I mean, when you really think about it, when you're in the car, at any moment, whether you're driving or not, you are coming a mere inches away from death. The only thing that's separating you from going head-on into another car on the other side of the road is just two yellow lines. It is a few inches of paint separating you from life and death. And the worst part about it is you don't even have to make a mistake. It could be the other idiot on the other side of the road who just looks away for half a second and then boom, you're both dead. Head-on collision, some sparks fly out, your gas can gets lit on fire, and boom, you blow up and you're dead. There's so many things that could go wrong. I don't understand how people don't think about this more often. But going along with this theme of driving, I was driving the other day, about 2 days ago. I had to take a drive up to my college for an exam that I had, and it's about a 2 to 3 hour drive. Pretty long when you think about it. The longer the duration of your drive, the more likely it is that you're gonna die. And I'm very aware of this. Whenever I go on these long drives, I try to get right with my soul, get right with God before I end up going out on the road. And you can laugh and you can think it's funny, but I am acutely aware that that could be the last moment of my life. So anyways, I start the drive, I get out on the road, and the first few minutes are always kind of the most surreal. It's okay, wow, I'm actually doing this. You know what I'm saying? We're going 50 miles an hour and I might die. But after the first few minutes, things do kind of settle down a little bit. I kind of get into my flow state of things. I'm okay, we're doing this, things are going fine. And I just kind of, go on my drive. Well, little did I know that on this particular drive, there would be 3 instances where, again, I don't know if I would call this a near-death experience, but it was certainly an experience. For example, I've been driving for about, 5 minutes. I'm half a mile down the road or something, you know what I'm saying? I've barely even done anything. The anxiety is still heightened. I'm still freaking out. And at this point, I come upon this merge where 2 lanes are merging into 1, right? Now, it's a bit of a weird intersection, so I'm just gonna explain it the best I can. But the way my road works is that I just drive down and I just curve to the right. I don't actually go through the central intersection where I have to yield to any cars or anything. I just go to the right, I just swerve in, and then I merge into the main road on the left, if that makes sense. So I don't even really have to hit the brakes. I just slow down a little bit. I keep on driving. Things are great. And then to the left, on the actual road I'm merging into, there's going to be cars that are coming through the intersection that I'm just going to merge in with, right? Well, what ended up happening is when I was driving up to the intersection, right, I can see the cars that are going through. So I see one car stops and he drives through, and then I'm going on the curve now. So I'm driving around the curve, and then I can also see that there's a car behind him who's now, okay, he stopped at the intersection. He's going to have to wait for a second, make sure it's clear. Then he's going to go through. And so in my head, I'm thinking, well, this is perfect timing. I'm just going to, go behind the first car, and the second car is going to be behind me. Logic, does that make sense? It's not supposed to be a complicated situation. It's just I just merge into the lane, Well, this is where I don't know if the second guy thought I was trying to chow him or he had some sort of ego issue or something. But the first car's right here, okay? He's in front of both of us. I'm in the second lane where my lane's about to end. And if I keep driving straight, I'm going to go off a freaking cliff. There's not a guardrail. There's nothing. It's a cliff. So I need to get into the main road lane, right? Or I'm going to die, okay? Well, the second car is behind me, but he's in the lane to my left, if that makes sense. So I take a peek in my rearview mirror. Okay, it looks clear. I look in my, lamp thing, the mirror to my left, and I'm all right, it looks great. I have enough room. I can kind of merge over to the other lane. I whip on the turn signal, and I start to turn my car into the other lane. And I don't know if this is a sixth sense thing, where you can kind of feel when someone's looking at you, but you don't actually see them. But I just felt like I should do one last emergency check. I felt like something was happening. I felt like an itch on my shoulder, you know what I mean? So I just peek over to my left-hand mirror, and I see this dude whipping on the gas and just speeding he sped up to the point where if I kept merging into the other lane, he was going to hit the backside of my car and I was going to spin out like a NASCAR race, probably fly off the cliff. And what freaked me out is the fact that if I didn't look in my mirror at the last second, that's probably what would have happened just by the timing of how fast he sped up and whatnot. He actually kept speeding up to the point where he was right next to me. And I'm right here. So I look over and I just look at the dude. He's just slunched down in his chair. He couldn't have cared less. But I know that he knew what he did. And then I'm oh shoot, wait a minute. I gotta slam on the brake now because I'm about to drive off the cliff that I was talking about earlier. So I slam on the brake. I get over. I survived, right? Obviously, but it was still kind of a freaky experience, right? So after that, I'm okay, I can take a deep breath. I'm doing good. I keep on driving. And when I'm about halfway there, I end up stopping at a gas station. Gas stations are another place that tend to give me anxiety. I've seen some very sketchy things at gas stations, and I don't think I'm alone, because I remember I saw this video like a while ago, and this guy was making like a TikTok or something, and it was like how to survive getting gas in Chicago. And he was showing like how he like, okay, he got out of the car, he put the gas thing in, right? He then ended up standing outside of the car and just like had his arms crossed and was just looking around and was just like showing like how like he gets gas or something in Chicago. And I was like, well, this is a very informative video. I'm gonna like use these tactics on my own when I go get gas. And so that's what I was doing, sitting there getting gas, and I was just kind of looking around and like had my arms crossed and was just trying to look tough, and I probably looked like an idiot. And it was probably extra dumb because there was only one other car at the gas station, so there's like no one actually there to intimidate. And he's in this like black SUV, so it's a little sketchy, but like, you know, nothing to worry about. I couldn't really see who the guy was that was like getting gas. He was on the other side of the car. But I'm not thinking too much of it. I'm just kind of keeping a side eye on it, right? And so I'm, you know, sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And eventually, his car finishes up, he gets in the car, he starts to drive away, and he begins driving around me, okay? Now, at the time, I didn't think too much of it, because that's just his normal route that he's supposed to go, right? That's just where the road takes him. He goes around me, and then he turns out onto the road, and he's gone. So I'm not thinking too much of it, and I'm standing there, and then the second that this car leaves the frame of my eyesight, right? So now it's behind me, I'm standing here like this, I hear a click and a bang, like a gunshot, right behind me. A gunshot. And my first thought was that that guy just shot me, right? Like he just shot at me. It probably hit me in the back of the head. I probably am dead. This is probably like I had a spike of adrenaline, and like to the point where everything went numb. And so I actually like for a second I was like, am I dead? And I was like, wait, okay, I'm still like alive, obviously. And then once I gathered my senses, I realized, well, actually what happened was the car was driving behind me, and the gas thing, like that was in my car, that had ended up clicking behind me. And that ended up being what the click and the bang was. It wasn't a gunshot. And the guy who was driving behind me just was driving at the same time that the thing went off. And so now I was like, well, I'm an idiot, you know? And so at this point, I'm fatigued. I'm stressed out. I'm like, goodness, like my mind's going crazy places. I'm like on edge, like while I'm driving the entire time now. I'm like, just get me to like my destination, like please, safely. So I keep driving for about an hour, hour and a half. I am literally about 15 minutes out from my destination. So close. And suddenly, I see a bunch of cars in front of me that start to put their brake lights on, right? It's a 2-lane road that I'm on, and it's dark out. It's nighttime now at this point, and I see all the cars braking in front of me. And so I'm like, okay, that's weird. Why are they braking? Because I see that the light is actually green. We're approaching a 4-way stop, but there's a green light, and so I'm like, okay, well, why are they all braking if it's a green light? But I'm also seeing a stop sign out to my left. And I'm kind of confused. I'm like, wait a minute, is it a green light or is it a stop sign? And I'm kind of confused because, right, like I'm tired at this point. I'm anxious. I'm like, freaking, like, what's going on here now? You know what I mean? Like something weird is going on. But it's also around the same exact time that I hear a train horn go off, like a literal train horn. Like it's like very close to me too. And I'm like, I look to my left and there's a train driving alongside parallel to the road. And I'm like, oh, that's why everyone's braking. And then I think, oh, that also makes sense because that's why the stop sign is flashing red lights too. It's not like a normal stop sign. It's flashing red lights, like making sure that you see it. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh, that's weird. I guess that's why everyone's braking, because the train's gonna cross by, right? But then everyone starts hitting the gas again. And I'm still like 50 feet out. Like I'm approaching this kind of group of cars right here, right? And they start driving by. The train's still, keep in mind, like driving right next to me. And so now I'm kind of confused. I'm like, okay, so everyone's like driving through the intersection now. Why did they stop at the green light though? That doesn't make sense. If it wasn't a problem in the first place, then why did they stop in the first place? Does that make sense? And so I'm trying to think about that. And then I'm also deciding, like, okay, so do I just drive to the intersection, or is this train going to hit me? Because it's like hitting the horn a lot more now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, at this point, I'm slowing down. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm like, okay, what do I just go through the green light? Like, maybe I'm overthinking it, right? So I'm like, okay, that's probably what's happening. I'm probably overthinking it. And so I start to speed up again. I start approaching the green light. The train had stopped honking its horn at this point. I don't really know why I was honking. I don't know. Maybe it's just supposed to do that or whatever, right? I get to the green intersection, the green light intersection. I start driving through it. And the second that I begin entering into the intersection, the train right next to me at this point slams on its horn. I don't know what the conductor was doing, what if you thought he was like playing a funny prank, because I was clearly like confused in this moment. You know, you probably could tell from like my cars slowing down and speeding up. Like I was like, what is going on here, right? So I don't know if he thought it was funny. I don't know if it was just coincidence. but he slams on his horn right next to me, and I freaking slam on the brakes. I think I'm about to get hit by a train right here, right? Because there's this flashing stop sign, but there's also a green light. Why are they both there? I don't know. Like, I didn't make the road. I'm just trying to survive at this point. I don't know what's going on. I'm tired. I'm anxious. I'm not in the mood to, like, die right now. And then I realize the train's just going by. Like, nothing happens. Like, it's not even crossing through the intersection. It's just going by, like, parallel to the intersection. Just like the cars are going through, it's just going through also. Like, we're just going through together or whatever, right? And I guess we just entered at the same time. But I don't. That was the scariest one, too. I feel like that one, like, doesn't sound that bad. I feel like when I'm telling this story, it doesn't really have the same impact as, like, the emotions that I felt when I was experiencing it, you know? Wow, that guy. But for me, mentally, that one felt like the worst one of all of them. I mean, that was so sudden. Well, at least I survived, I guess.